Welcome to our UnpauseIt end of COVID summer catch-up.
And our new trying of cold open. Normally we would be down in the man cave or just the cave. It's my office, but
it's a cave.
It's a cave, the pop culture cave. But there's a toilet in the middle of the pop culture cave because the pop culture cave bathroom is getting redone.
TMI.
So you can see the upstairs.
Yeah, so this is our front room, our main room. This is our new office. This is our new entertainment room. This is pretty much our world happens up here now because, well, COVID-19.
Cat infested waters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are we talking about today? Well, speaking of, we have been absent from the podcast sphere for what? It seems like a decade and a half now.
It's not been a whole decade. I believe the last podcast, actually, we did do one earlier this year, right after lockdown started happening. I interviewed one of my friend's daughters, Elizabeth. I think she's our daughter's age, George's age. Who goes by Furious Jeb, by the way, and has her own YouTube channel. But her daughter, Elizabeth, spent a lot of lockdown baking. And was baking amazing things. So that is what I think that's our last episode on the podcast where I interviewed her. Basically, if you guys want to listen to it, it's pretty fun because her mom, she wanted flour, and the only flour they could find was a 25-pound bag of flour.
And they made a bunch of things.
So she started baking, and she was making some. I mean, from a standpoint, I'm seeing these pictures, I was like, that's amazing. That stuff you would see in a Bon Appetit blog or something like that. So it was pretty cool. So that's the last episode we did. So it has been a few months. It's been a hot minute. So
yeah. So what we've been doing over the summer? Why haven't we had time in a lockdown to do a podcast?
Well, because we have. I mean, I'm sure this is not news to any other families out there. You probably started taking care of stuff that maybe you had no time to do before.
Hence the toilet in the middle of the basement.
Bathroom remodels, people trying to find ways to entertain yourself, improve yourself, whatever, which actually segues nicely into what we're talking about today is the fact that we've been trying to entertain ourselves and learn things and getting into stuff. So we're doing an end of COVID summer coverage of UnpauseIt. By the way,
not end of COVID because that's a whole other celebratory
COVID
podcast.
Summer.
End of COVID summer.
And I don't want to asterisk that by saying end of the first COVID summer. I am hoping it's the only COVID summer. I'm sure you are too. But that's why we're here talking about this. But
I'm still upset they haven't called it COVID-2 Electric Boogaloo. You know what I mean? Instead of COVID-19.
It could happen,
It might still happen.
It might still happen. So we'll hopefully everybody enjoy. We'd love to hear from you. This will go on our YouTube channel. This will be on iTunes, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. But UnpauseIt.com is where you can come and opine. Let us know what you were into because we may give you some ideas of what we did because guess what? All these things we're going to talk about still available.
Yeah.
You might get ideas for entertainment.
Yeah. We launched this podcast doing the MCU and rewatching everything at home and then seeing the latest release and then talking about it on our podcast here. So that's why we call it Unpause It. To unpause it, you have to have the ability to pause it. So we're not new release movie centric. We are video game, home release.
Yes.
Things like that.
So that's what we're into. So let's kick off. So I think one of the things we as a podcast have often done, and a real quick shout out. You can find us on social. We're UnpauseIt on Facebook and Twitter. We are UnpauseIt Podcast on Instagram. So please go take a look at that. That'd be great. Like I said, catch up on all of our other podcasts and stuff and let us know what you think. Use it too if you're watching this and you want to tweet at us or on Facebook say, oh my God, you guys are so wrong. Or, I so love that thing. So let's jump into the first thing, which is movies and shows. So that tends to be what we review anyway, one of the areas. But, with COVID coming out or with COVID sweeping the nation and all the nations, guess what stopped happening? Movie theaters.
Right.
And that bothered my inside.
And movie openings.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Chillins were not so stoked about that. We lost not lost.
Lost.
We have now had twice postponed Gabriel Iglesias tickets.
Yep.
So now his show for us in Denver is scheduled for April 24th at Pepsi Center still.
Isn't that a full year after when it was originally going to
May.
happen? Yeah.
11 months.
Just about.
So I found out yesterday that Dr. Bones is going to the same show.
Nice.
Yeah. And he said he saw him once live and was in pain afterwards because he laughed for 2 solid hours.
I would imagine. I mean, we laugh anyway at his specials, and he is, I believe, our son's the Sauce. He is his favorite comedian. So
This is true. I've memorized most of his bits, but they're still funny.
they are still funny. We listen to him online all the time. But yeah, everything got postponed. Everything got closed. There have been literally no movie openings. I think actually this weekend.
Tenant.
Yep. Alamo Draft House, actually near us, has said they're starting to slowly reopen. Very different experience than it used to be, obviously. I don't know that I'd be terribly inclined to go to a movie opening right now, but,
I'm scared, but
I also kind of want to see what they do. I mean, we might be able to send, one of us to a movie and just kind of take in that experience. But all that said, movie openings and stopped. So guess what? All of us were relegated to is streaming or our own movie libraries or renting movies or red boxes or whatever. So
yeah, and we were fortunate enough to hop in on the fiber optic bandwagon when it first came to our neighborhood at a decent rate.
Truth. Broadband, internet speed right now.
Yeah,
is
so
kind
we
of
have the
important.
gigabit stuff, and I'm not promoting them on basically on principle, but we've been able to stream each one of us a Zoom call with video, HD, with 0 lag.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for good internet. I hope
Yeah.
you guys have good internet, and I know not everybody does. Just blocks away from here, the fiber optic's not available.
Mhm.
It's just infrastructure is still coming around, and COVID slowed it down. Everybody's at home. It's kind of weird, but we were streaming quite a bit of things.
Yep.
Not playing so many video games. I was still in a semester of college.
Yeah.
So
We'll
I
get
was
to that in a minute.
busy.
Yeah, but let's talk about we are going to do a segment on video and other games because it's not just video games. There are all kinds of games.
Yeah.
But let's start with movies and shows. So one thing that came out, not all of us in the family have seen it, but Hamilton did come out on Disney Plus.
It's not my jam.
It's not his jam. My kids would tell you it's too much of my jam, apparently, because I was like watching it and singing it too often. I have finally now kind of segued into other things, but that was really cool. Actually, it was neat that they put that out. I don't think I would have been able to see the actual show for another few years at least.
It was postponed, and the Denver run was postponed 24 months.
Yeah.
So,
but it was cool that they actually made. So if anyone wondering, look up the trivia on this. They did 3 different video shoots of the performance. They had the original cast come back and do it, and it includes close-ups and stuff. It's pretty cool. It was nice too because here's one aspect that I didn't realize I was gonna really appreciate so much is that when you do watch it on your TV, you can turn on subtitles, and that was great because. Particularly, and I could use that on any show because there's so many times you do go to see, like if you want to go see a theater show, if you're lucky enough to go, you are kind of at the mercy of whoever the acoustics of the place and whoever's mixing the sound. If they don't have it dialed in, you're not going to make out everything. And even then, how many times in like shows do you hear people like where they're singing at the same time and on top of each other? It was great. So it was a good experience. It was really, that was a nice thing. So if you have Disney Plus, and by the way, Disney Plus, if you have a profile, I think you can create 5 to 7.
4, I thought.
It's like 5, I think.
It's not just one. So
yeah, so
you can spread the wealth around.
You can spread the wealth around a little
advocate
bit.
for that. Give everybody your password.
It's 7. Georgia says it's 7.
Georgia said it was 7.
All right, thank you.
Let's get 7 people on the streaming platform.
That's right.
Until they stop that, I say we exploit that.
I think they honestly, I'm sure they got well, and I'm sure with Hamilton coming out, I think a lot of people are like, "Great, I want to see it." And they probably bought into it, so it was a good play on their part.
I don't know any of those numbers. It's been kind of tight-lipped, and I haven't been having the time actually in this lockdown to even look at the news for streaming services very much.
Yes.
Very strange. But one that I liked that's old that a friend of the show, recommended was the Amazon Prime show Worth It.
Worth it.
And I can only think of Deadpool.
Worth it.
You
Appropriately so.
Yeah, right up Main Street. So, like that show, we're 4 seasons in. I think there's only a couple more seasons to go on that one. They're short.
Mhm.
So at night, after we get everything done, after we're exhausted and it's 9:00, whatever, we can put on one and it's like 15 minutes long or so, 20
Mhm.
minutes sometimes, and kind of chill out, and then that's it. So Worth It was pretty good. Some of the food places were like, if they're still around after this and we're in LA or someplace, we're going to try some of these places out.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's been kind of nice vicariously too. And I get, yes, we can't go to these places right now, but we're making lists, right? And it's funny, we'll kind of get into this in the other section. We have an other section at the end of like what we're talking about, end of COVID summer. Food, how that's kind of, I feel like there's been a little more appreciation of it when you can't go out and enjoy it at a restaurant.
And, frankly, we don't go out very often.
No.
Anyway. And so I cook, and I'm pretty good at it. So I feel sorry for people who just don't even know how to cook, relied exclusively on going out. Hopefully they've learned some skills, watching some of those cooking shows, not the competition shows, but the real shows like Jacques Pepin, the ones that are on PBS that teach you how to do something, that shows you how to julienne some carrots, that shows you the difference between sauteing and pan frying.
Well, and people haven't had to commute. If you're not an essential worker who has to actually go somewhere, you haven't had a commute. And so you probably do have that extra half hour to an hour or more to focus on that. So thankfully, he's the cook in the house. My jobs kept me fairly busy where I have had to help. He actually, this is funny, he'll leave like little sticky notes. He'll actually write instructions on the top of like whatever the cover is on the thing and be like, here's what to do when. And so I'm very thankful for that because then I don't mess things up. Sorry, carry on. What else have we been doing with movies and shows?
When the lockdown first started and semester ended for me in May, I was like, don't do it. And I just started watching Deep Space Nine again.
Yes! You have joined the dark side of the Force.
It's extremely streamable. It went from 1993 to 2000 or right around there, with 7 seasons. And it's amazing. It had very prescient themes of terrorism, war, getting caught up into unjust wars, what you do, to yourself in war. It has a single black man as the captain raising his son.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke to me when I was, in high school when it was first aired.
Yeah.
And it's just immensely rewatchable. Now there's some clunky episodes for sure. They had 22 episodes per season. They're all 45 minutes long, right? Because an hour long with the commercials. So there's some weird ones in there. And you got to get past the theme of like, if it's focusing on O'Brien, he's going to get hurt.
Man, O'Brien's good. He just gets the shaft so often.
Right.
But he's such a cool character.
Yeah. And we watched again through Avatar.
Of course
we have it on disc, of course, but then it came out on Nickelodeon, Netflix.
Yeah.
Because they had that deal with Nickelodeon. So I got ahead of myself there. And so we decided to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Sozin's Comments, like next on our list on that one, the whole 4-episode arc there.
Quick, I wanted to backtrack just real quick. We're talking about Hamilton and Disney Plus. According to Variety, Hamilton drove up Disney Plus app downloads 74% over a weekend in the United States on July 6th.
Right, and that's just app downloads. That doesn't mean subscription purchases. They do have a 7-day free trial on that as well, so they could be doing that for the 7 days and getting off.
It was a boon for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And that could also be, I have it on my TV, but now I want it on my phone.
Yeah.
So that's not a 74% increase in subscribers. That's a 74% increase in spreading the app around. One Punch Man. Yeah, that's an older series that we got into over the summer. Willis and I did,
Mhm.
and then Georgia came along for the ride.
What is it? Can you give us
It's
a little?
in Japanese. It's an animated show, and
That's
it's
cool.
hilarious.
Awesome.
It's about the strongest superhero. He's just a regular dude that just trained so hard that he became
Bald.
unbeatable. Like he was so strong, his hair won't grow.
He looks like Aang to me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a bit derivative for sure.
It's
And,
a bit of a bit.
But he's also extremely unmotivated.
Mm.
So he's the strongest superhero, unbeatable,
So an unsuperhero.
and basically your average, what you would consider typical gamer.
The cost of power came at the
That's
price
offensive
of
in too many
emotion.
ways.
Technically.
Yeah. And he's just like, yeah, he's so fast and he's so strong. Everything is just lazy for him. No matter how strong the enemies are, it's like, boom, one punch and then they're dead.
Here's
And
the
so the whole show is around this whole thing about there's all these superheroes. And we just started season 2. And we're like 2 episodes in, and it is good.
Nice.
So we're also doing, as with the kids, they're doing Legend of Korra.
Mhm.
I went for the first 2.5 seasons, and it lost me.
I want to rewatch it. I want to give it another shot.
Yeah, it's got some of the best, without spoilers, it's got some of the best part in the middle where Korra goes back to the original Avatar. That's
And the lion turtles.
That should have been the entire series. Should have been 3 seasons
Mhm.
of
Juan.
of the original Avatar, learning from the lion turtles in that primitive art style and the whole spirit world and how everything changed in the world.
Yeah.
1,000 generations prior is what it should have been.
Because Korra is a piece of crap.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Most of it isn't that good.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna get some reaction on
it
that.
lacks a lot of what the original Avatar series
it is
wanted and
different.
had.
It's
Well,
different. It's fine.
On its own, without any expectations, it would be fine. But with something as amazing as the original Avatar, it was.
That's
not
fair.
good.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah,
it's
totally.
good, but like exactly what Willis said, it doesn't belong in the Avatar.
And
It just
Willis
belongs
is
like
going
that.
through Naruto, draining his savings, buying his own
Yeah, he
episodes
literally
of Naruto.
hands us dollar bills to buy each
It's worth it.
subsequent season.
1 month's allowance is 2 more seasons. Okay,
He's
There you go.
invested, like literally invested in
very
that
worth
show.
it.
And just going through, we did watch the first episode of Muppets Now on Disney Plus.
It was good.
Yeah, I haven't watched any subsequent episodes at all. So
I liked it. I
did like it too.
It's worth it. I mean, I do want to go back and see more, but it's worth it just for seeing
Kermit.
Kermit.
Oh man, Kermit was great. And then the Swedish Chef was always my favorite sketch on the original Muppet Show from the 70s. And now it's Muppets Now. So they're taking
Mhm.
those characters and putting it into what is now. So it's all streaming. It's like this. There's Scooters in his bedroom, basically, producing the show remotely like this.
Yes.
So it's very
that part really got me
Can
too,
relate
because
almost.
it was so accurate. Like it's like, okay, you brought this into the time we're all in now, and I mean, whoever's like probably going to be managing these like political conventions, Scooter, they're totally Scooter because they're like having like, oh my god, like
Right.
you know, so you know it's right.
I'm going through all the things that we've done with the kids.
Okay.
And then, so Naruto, and then the Mission Impossible series. We were up in, and we've seen Mission Impossible 4 with the kids. And they're like, and they were kind of
What?
confused. I'm like, well, we got to watch them all in order.
I don't
And
think-
they're not streaming anywhere. Like, weird. So we were up at a place of vacationing in Keystone because we're hoity-toity. We were just on the coattails of your mom.
We are, yes,
And,
we're coattail people, very much.
Yeah, they had Mission Impossible there, but it was like almost a TV edit type of
Mhm.
thing. But it was good. And so the kids were like, that's all right. And the first trivia about the first Mission Impossible is that Ethan Hunt never fires a gun in the first movie.
He's so Batman.
Yeah. And so then we watched Mission Impossible 2 because got a free 6-disc Blu-ray free. It was like I used credit card points.
It was
For
free
it.
to us.
Yeah. We didn't have to spend any money out of our pocket to get this. And I don't think I would spend money in my pocket to get it, even though I think they've gotten better with every one of them. And it's the same story. Mission Impossible 2 is the only one where Ethan Hunt's not disavowed, I think. And there's too many slow motion dubs and not Emily.
My gosh, it
who
was
was
so
it?
bad.
It was so bad.
I was like, but then you watch Mission Impossible 3 and you're like, well, the first 5 minutes are better than an entire movie.
Yeah. And then,
yeah, that's in the lot of things.
yeah, so now we're on to 4, maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm in a film class, so I have lots of other films to watch.
I'm excited too because you're watching 3 films. You've seen 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
I get him like, great, I get to watch all these. I actually want to take his film class for him. 'Cause it's,
Well, I want to take his astronomy class, but he won't let me do that.
You don't know the algebra yet. So,
not yet.
but that's what we're kind of watching as a family.
Yeah.
What you are watching is Designing Women.
Women designing women. So
Plug here.
yes, and again, when you have a little more time on your hands, not much, like I said, I'm busy, but so I do have some friends, some of whom are again gonna, I think, be contributing more onto this podcast. So it's more than our 4, but we decided to rewatch Designing Women, and Designing Women came out in 1986. I was all of 11-12 years old. I was actually living in Georgia when it came out. I don't remember watching it, but we're rewatching it through the lens of women today. So I am a mom, working mom, wife in a family of 4, right? And then one of the other ladies, Elizabeth on the show, she's also a mom, stay at home though, but she has a law degree. And then Tanya is the other host on the show, and she is single, living her best life. And I swear, if I didn't have y'all, I'd be wanting to live how she's living. She's amazing. But so we're all kind of bringing our different perspectives to it. And it's really interesting because some of it's very timely today. Some of it's kind of amazing from a standpoint of like, were we doing that back in the 80s? Like, was that what TV was like? And so it's really cool. But that's a separate podcast, part of our UnpauseIt repertoire, if you will. So we are still working on getting the first several episodes recorded, and we'll launch that. So
right,
yes.
Something that you and I are watching together, and there's some honorable mentions. Hockey.
Yes.
Right.
Avalanche are playing today.
Yeah, hockey's back. I was working at the bike shop again, just helping them out with the crazy rush of bike purchases and stuff like that. The cycling industry in the COVID thing. Read about it. It's global shortages. It's crazy. But so I was helping. I was a bouncer basically for a bike shop, and as I was bouncing, if you will, just like Roadhouse, right? Almost. Making sure people were wearing their masks, make sure they didn't enter too fast, things like that. I had hockey on when it came back, and it started at 10 in the morning and would go until like 10 at night, or even later sometimes in the, if the games went long. So it was all day hockey. It was great. And that's at the very tail end of the summer has been hockey. Avalanche played tonight, so now you know what they were recorded.
Hopefully
maybe. Game 1 of round 2, hopefully they win. But we're watching hockey on that one. Peaky Blinders.
You almost want to say Peaky Blinders, but
it's a family-friendly podcast. We're in season 4.
Here's the thing: is we have so many gaps. We usually have to go back and look at recaps to remind ourselves where we are in the storyline. I think we're 3.
Peaky Blinders is a Netflix show, but was originally a BBC show, right?
Yeah.
So
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah,
they
don't have the avatar previously on Peaky Blinders. I would so like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But yeah, we're at the part where they're in the vendetta with Adrian Brody.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's for serious, and you can tell, and my gosh, and there's some really big names in there too. I mean, Tom Hardy's in it. He's probably one of my favorite characters in there.
I always liked Tom Hardy, even when he played that Romulan in that Star Trek show, in Star Trek movie. Yeah,
he played a Romulan.
Yeah, Star Trek Nemesis, I think it was.
He's good though, but yeah, it's really good.
Max, he's really good.
I need to look it up. The chick who she was Draco Malfoy's mother.
Oh, I just had it in my head, and you said chick, and I'm like,
sorry, I said chick, and that threw you off. That's what threw you off.
That's what threw me off. But yeah, Peaky Blinders is one thing that we kind of like intermittently mixed in. It's got to be, the kids are in bed. A few episodes that are, Game of Thrones style nudity, and it's just like,
Yeah, you can't watch that
No,
around kids,
thanks.
so please don't do that. But so yeah, we usually wait till we're downstairs. We'll go down and watch it, or we'll watch it with the headphones on and stuff like that. So
Okay, while she's looking that up, some other things that we were watching. That's pretty much it as far as and like movies. We kind of spatter something in it all. We have attempted to get
Helen McCrory.
Yeah, there
Thank you.
We have attempted to get the kids into the 80s movies. Real Genius is one that we love, but that's not one for the summer that we've watched.
Mm-hmm.
But we did watch Top Gun.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Another Tom Cruise, which got us into the Mission Impossible things. So
We're on
the
Vapor
kids-
Cougar.
Yeah. We have Legend. The kids haven't seen that one yet. That's another Tom Cruise flick. And
It's
I
all
like it
right.
a lot.
I've never really been into it.
Yeah, Tim Curry steals the show in that one.
I like Tim Curry.
Yeah,
though.
because he's the devil, right?
He's the
But
devil.
we have a pile of movies. We have a Studio Ghibli movie. Over there, I can't remember what The Wind Rises. So we have The
I need
Wind
to watch
Rises. We
it.
haven't watched it yet.
I need to
Um,
watch it.
Well, it's not technically the end of summer, so
Yeah, this is just a
we have time.
recap of what we have there. This is what we haven't watched. The Predator, or the original one.
Oh, well, he's seen. Hasn't
He saw a
He's
TV
seen that
edit
one.
with that, which was only edited
Oh,
where
no.
they just muted it on the cuss words.
Are you pushing too many pencils?
Yeah, right. So he's seen. We gotta watch it again because it's amazing. It's a
It is
great
really good.
action film.
I need to see this. Again.
We started watching Terminator, and Boy decided, man, it's boring. I'm like, in the Terminator, the original one, which
I
is
saw the first 5 seconds, and it didn't say it was boring. I said I want to do other stuff.
you
so I
got
went
up and
to-
said, this is boring. I
I
want to
did
do other
not.
things.
See, that's
Essentially,
what
he
your mind
decided
does,
it was.
creates
Yeah.
other stuff that I did not do.
But the Terminator is a slow burn.
It really is. Then you get into T2. Well, the other one that I do want, we haven't watched this yet, and I think we're getting to where we want to go. But the Alien franchise,
I haven't watched the Alien franchise with the kids yet. They're a little too young for that one still at this point.
which again, Sigourney Weaver's got one of the lines I keep saying, repeating to everyone all summer is, "I hope you're right. I really do."
Right?
Because you are at this point with the pandemic, I just really hope people are right,
Right.
about stuff. Like,
And we have Tombstone.
yes,
Because the Val
We'll
Kilmer,
hook up everything.
Top Gun, Real Genius, Connection, and they're not into the door, so we're not going to watch the Val Kilmer, which is one of his best movies.
So
So that's kind of what
Okay.
we've been watching.
again, if you have any movies or shows we haven't mentioned that you've been into, mention it on UnpauseIt.com, tweet at us, put it on our Facebook page. Again, whatever you've been into that you've been enjoying, or maybe you want to tell people, oh my gosh, don't even waste your time. That can be helpful for anyone watching. So give us a shout out. What is next? What are we talking about?
I say we go to video games and other games.
Video games and other games. I agree.
Yeah.
So wait, no, back to movies and shows. We're still on movies and shows because we wanted to say I was starting to watch Firefly.
So we have Firefly. We have 3 episodes left of Firefly. I got it for her for Mother's Day, the Blu-ray,
Yes.
and kind of savoring it a bit. And then I also got for me and my daughter to watch Batman the Animated Series because it was on sale.
That's a good series.
Yeah.
Batman.
But we're only in like the first disc on that one, so like halfway
Actually,
through the
kind of
first
got it
disc.
for Willis, but Willis doesn't like it.
I got it from me, and then you decided. to
I get it from me. It's from me.
But yeah, so things to watch. John Wick is another one that's not on our list that we should have put on the list because we watched that this summer
We did.
with Willis, not Georgia.
Hi, I don't know.
And we
this.
hadn't seen it. We hadn't seen it before.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw John Wick.
Well, we had, I guess.
Yeah,
Willis
we
had
had.
not.
Willis hadn't seen it. And we just picked up John Wick 2 because it was on Super
Yeah,
Sale.
and again, he's 14, so he's in that realm.
It's violent, but it's not
Yeah.
over the top. I would let him watch John Wick. He does not get to watch Peaky Blinders. No.
Nope.
Right. So there is a differentiation, of course.
All right.
So those were, I guess, going back there.
Yeah, so let us segue into chat about video and other games. You got me Red Dead Redemption 2
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2.
right toward the startup lockdown. I really enjoyed that, and I think I enjoyed it more than I would have. It's a great game. Our daughter's
Georgia, something
playing a
happened
game.
on Minecraft. there.
yeah, she just like whoa.
I fell into lava.
Oh, sorry, that's
I'm gonna die now.
So that's one advantage in Red Dead Redemption 2. You don't fall into lava. There's no lava. There are alligators and things like that. But so I really liked it. And for anyone who has played it, it's a great story. You know it is. You can tell this is why why video game developers take years to make some of these games. This one had to, and we did do a podcast interview with Serenity Forge's creator, the founder there. And our cat just said, it's a free for all, y'all. But Serenity Forge's founder, he had said too, he's like, look, sometimes it takes a few years to make some of these games. You totally can get that when it's a big game like that with the depth of it. So
yeah, and they had thousands of developers.
But it was so nice to play it, and I think I enjoyed it even more because I started playing it after lockdown. So being able to explore free range, free roam through the world with all these beautiful landscapes, and you see animals, you can hunt, you can gather, you can fight people and whatever. But there were times where you're trying to get from point A to point B, and it takes you several minutes because you don't have fast travel until later in the game as you progress. But even though that took a little while, your finger gets tired from like, okay, go horse. But it was beautiful. So I remember thinking that I'm like, this is so nice to just be able. So great. I played the whole story. It was really good. And then there's Red Dead Redemption Online, and I started getting into that a little bit. And it's been funny. I do that on Twitch, and I've had a couple people watch, and they know the game, and so they'll like help guide me. I'm like, what's happening? They're like, you just have to go do this. So thank you for all you who helped me with that. I'll hop back into it. What you had something you started playing?
Yeah, I got Final Fantasy VII Remake before the end of the semester, and then played it at the end of the semester for a week. So I got through half the game before I stopped playing it. Before life got in the way.
You got through half?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Almost half.
Well, I mean,
It's a big game.
If I get back to it, I was going to put on the easiest mode possible and just hammer through it. I like some of the changes. I prefer the turn-based system. I think what a lot of people were hoping is that there would be a Final Fantasy VII Remake where it's the same game. Because I haven't played it on Switch yet. Because the Final Fantasy VII is on Switch. You can play it on your phone. You can play it on all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
And it's optimized, so you don't have to like grind. You can just go through the story. I guess it only takes like 15 hours or so to get through it like that. But I would have preferred to have it like that, but instead of rendered backdrops and super blocky sprites, you make it 3D, but in that same art style, and you can see the enemies. That was the one thing I didn't like, was that you couldn't. It was all random battles. But you had to like grind and make the game long. You had all these weird things, all these chocobos, all this materia. And I'm in the minority, of course, as far as what the dollars would be. And this game is fun, and it's just as weird. Almost. It needs to be weirder. Yeah. I think it will get weirder. But you grind up. It's not a traditional RPG that you would think of, like Octopath was. But it was fun. And then I've been playing a little bit of Super Metroid on Switch. Just kind of like, because you could just turn it off and then turn it right back on in the middle of a boss fight or whatever.
Nice.
Because it's a Switch. And it's all the Super Nintendo games that are on the Super Nintendo app on Switch are just available to us. Played through Link's Awakening over Christmas break.
Getting a thumbs up from Furious Jeb over here.
Yeah. Oh. And then went back to Link to the Past, or whatever the Super Nintendo version, game was. And that was an amazing game, actually.
Nice.
And beat that game. And then, so over the summer, not much gaming, trying to get things done, a lot of biking, a lot of destroying my knee.
Yep.
Get the miles out of the knee is kind of before.
I think you're in the negative on that, my friend. Dude.
Georgia has been playing a lot of Minecraft.
Of course.
Lots. She's playing it right now. If you've been hearing the clicking, that's what's happening.
Pokemon,
yes. I am the Pokemon master.
And then Link to the Past as well on Switch. Did you beat Mario and Rabbids?
No, I'm stuck on this one level, and I've tried it like 70 times.
Oh, man.
That's rough, dude.
It's just this one level. It's
rough,
been
buddy.
easier than all the other ones.
Yeah, and Willis has been relegated to the basement.
He'll be back.
He'll be back later, so we didn't have ASMR eating.
He's been playing a lot of Minecraft too, though. He's you guys' cousin Gabe in Indiana. He's got his own servers and stuff, and I think he's been asking you guys in. So
Yeah.
Well, no, he's only been asking Willis because I don't have him.
I can make sure that changes, but well, I can at least suggest it. I can't make anything happen. But
however,
that's been nice.
Playing with family members in a different state,
Yeah.
over the internet. That's one of the best things about video games.
True.
Is that you can get like able to chat and stuff.
That is one thing. So I did see a story at the start of the summer, once lockdown started happening. So, everybody was trying to figure out how, we're all getting Zoom fatigue. Everybody started using Zoom way more, or WebEx, or whatever you're using. And, let's increase video conferencing, whatever. But you can still kind of like, okay, God, can we figure out some other way, more creative ways for us to connect? And this is for business or personal. And I did hear about how in Red Dead Redemption Online, like they would get, a team together. They would actually go and sit around the camp and chat together for the business meeting in Red Dead Redemption Online. And then once they're done with the meeting, okay, you're dismissed, everybody go, and then they go play. But that's been, you talk about connection with family members or being able to play together too. I mean, my cousin Matt, who is Gabe's dad, is in Red Dead Redemption Online. We haven't crossed paths yet in there, but it is just an added way. And I've got I think we posted some articles on UnpauseIt's social about how many video games is not a suffering industry right now.
No, video games, bikes.
Yeah.
Bikes are suffering insofar as that they can't resupply the retailers. Otherwise, it would have been exponential growth.
Yeah. Supply chain issues.
For tons and tons of reasons. Video games are in a similar boat, pun intended, because they're probably in a boat waiting to get on to the docks.
They're in a boat, literally.
Yeah. And you go to Target to, get some school supplies, and you walk down the video game aisle, and like a lot of the video games are gone.
They're gone.
They're Eternal, and
they had one Switch Lite at our Target, 0 other video game consoles, unless you're talking about those weird, Ataris with like 100 games on them, those weird ones. But the video game consoles are hard to find.
Yeah.
I already have all the ones that.
Yeah, we have everything we need, but some people wanted to get into it, they couldn't.
Yeah.
People could not find Switches.
Yeah.
Ring Fit Adventure, which is a stay-at-home exercise game, things like that,
hilarious.
Which is perfect for a
Especially when
lockdown
you
situation. They didn't press enough copies, so they didn't even have any, and they had no way to resupply retailers.
I've seen more
It's crazy.
wins and fails videos of people trying to play VR, and then they of course don't
Breaking
stay
their
still and they
televisions and
break
stuff like
everything
that.
around them, and you're like, you cannot move. Don't move, or at
Yeah.
least give yourself a safe space. Do not do VR near stairs.
I need to get a VR.
And
We have VR goggles.
we've got to get
but
kind of
like real
moving on
ones.
this. But Willis he restarted Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Switch in master mode.
For like 7th time, not on.
He's trying to beat it that way, and he does pretty good.
He's been playing God of War
Again.
again.
He beat Odyssey over the summer.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
He did.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
Did I miss that he beat it?
Yeah,
Maybe I forgot.
I think you
probably
were like
just forgot.
sitting
you were
right there.
you were in that chair. He was over there. He beat it, and you were like, "Cool."
Okay, sorry. Good job, Willis.
Yeah, and as a family, we try to do game nights in the summers.
Yeah.
Right now, with start of school, start of mountain biking clubs, start of everything that's gone crazy, we've kind of lost track of family game night.
Yeah.
And it's not video game night. We played Pandemic.
It felt appropriate.
Play Cookie Scouts vs. Aliens.
We got to play Kickstarter. We played
So
a lot
those
of
are those
Risk.
cooperative games, right?
Yeah.
Where you are all trying to beat the game.
I don't like.
It's you
co-op games 'cause
against the
actually
game.
have to talk.
So Pandemic's great. If you haven't gotten it, which is probably hard to get to now, but that's a hard one too. It's really hard to beat. We got so close.
And we got
You can
with like in
big
one
stick.
thing.
So close.
And we started a puzzle, and we have a tiny place. And if you have limited space, you have an apartment or whatever, we got a puzzle mat. So you
Yeah.
roll the puzzle
Yeah, it's great.
into a
Yeah,
cylinder.
like so it's basically felt. It's really simple. I mean, you could make this,
Yeah.
frankly. So felt, and then you have the puzzle all laid out, so all the pieces are on the felt, and then it's got a tube, just a cardboard tube, and you lay that along, and then you just roll the felt up around that tube. So now all the pieces are where we left them, and we just have it over there
Yeah.
for the next time we want to roll.
If you want
unroll
a
it.
bigger one, you can get like she said, a piece
Yeah.
of felt and then a piece of PVC pipe.
Got it at Target. I was like, this
Yeah.
is perfect because, like you said, we have no space to afford leaving a puzzle out for months at a time. So it's worked out.
Yeah. So as far as books been going, I've been
You're
slogging
Segueing
through
to books, yes.
Lord of the Rings
Yes, slogging.
because of the time constraints.
Well, you're reading stuff for class too.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
I'll steal yours.
Way different. Willis read the first book of Artemis Fowl.
Mhm.
Did not enjoy.
No, wait. He said it started off wonky, but now he's getting good.
Okay.
He's undecided if he wants to continue the series.
Gotcha.
And he's also starting school, so that may put that on a back burner anyway. He did read through, he read the Legend series by Maria Yu, I think, or I think that's her last name. We're trying to keep him from rereading the Harry Potter series for the 15th time.
Yeah.
He loves it, which is great. But we're like, dude, there's so many. So please, if you have a teen son who's maybe into video gaming too, but if you've got some good suggestions, send them our way. He loves Brandon Mull. That is his favorite author of all time.
Yeah. Trying to get him to read Chronicles of Narnia is like trying to pull teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. And similarly, Georgia is not into Anne of Green Gables. I know you have been in that. Wings of Fire is your series, right?
Really, it's only a couple books, and then my favorite book is from that series.
Mm-hmm.
And Fablehaven, which Willis is also
Another Brandon Mull
that
thing.
was great.
Yeah.
I'm also reading Dragon Watch.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the first book like usual. I never finished the first book of the series.
Hey,
but,
Dragon Watch is on our list. Nice.
Yeah. And I was late to this, but a friend of ours, Michelle Cummings, wrote The Real Sister. She's a fly fisher, and in addition to being an amazing leadership coach and stuff like that, that's her job. But she also fly fishes, and she and a bunch of women that she knows do fly fishing, and she wrote a book about it, a fiction book, and she wrote it 3 years ago, and I finally got to it on my Kindle this year. It's great. So yeah, that's what I think. That's what I've read. I don't think I've had a bill. Oh, and I'm going through some kind of book study with Jamie and Christina, but again, we stopped meeting up once. We could have done Zoom, but we were all busy, but we stopped meeting up at the start of the pandemic, so I don't remember the name of the book. It's behind me somewhere.
Yeah. We doing a lot of, like I said, mountain biking.
Yeah.
Kind of moving on from books.
Yes.
Curbside deliveries.
Yeah.
Trying to find breweries that are still open and supporting them. Trying to find places that we have frequented in the past and give them some support, because we ended up okay. We got busier during the lockdown,
Yeah.
not less busy. Georgia got into longboarding, so she's getting really good on that.
She is getting really good.
Video games.
And then
It's my soul.
it's kind of trying to have that simple life, trying to finish that bathroom, retiling and, kind of just resurfacing, not like putting a new one in, but just kind of updating what was there.
Yep.
And keeping everything clean, because when you have a small house and 4 people,
Yeah.
it gets
And a cat.
and a cat, and it gets messy quickly.
Dude, that's the thing. You're literally looking into half of the room that we spend most of our waking days in. And my desk has moved from this table where all the mic and camera are sitting on, and we finally got me a corner desk, which happens to be by the cat tree. And so every morning I come up and there's just this blanket of cat fur. And then I've actually had to get on Willis's case, because he'll come up while the cat's on the tree and he'll pet him vigorously. And I'm like, stop it.
Fur gets everywhere.
Just fur
Blow on the
everywhere.
table.
So yeah, so that's where we're all on top of each other all the time. And so,
Yeah.
but look at that too. Part of that's a silver lining. There are some silver linings to COVID, where we've spent way more time with us as a family than we would have been afforded to.
Yeah,
be
and
able to.
it's been good.
I have
Yeah.
been connected to my Minecrafts more than ever, and I feel happy about this.
Right, and we had things, and some people were by themselves and things like that. So we're not trying to minimize any of that stuff. We're not trying to call out. We're just trying to say what we did during the summer, and to preview what our next episode will be.
Yes, so we are going to be talking about. We mentioned earlier, kind of bring this full circle. Disney Plus is one of many outlets where some of these studios are trying to push the movies out to the public with lack of theaters, right? Again, some theaters are reopening slowly, but you cannot get the same wide distribution you would have normally gotten with a big release. So the one we're referring to is Mulan, and we have all been looking forward to that. It did get delayed, but now it's going to be coming out, I believe it's September 3rd, via Disney Plus. Now, You will not, if you are already a Disney Plus subscriber, it's not going to be free on the platform. You actually have to buy it. You have to pay for it. But if you think about it, you would have had to pay movie admission to go see it. You're probably not going to have to spend that much money. Yeah. That was one thing. So I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Elizabeth because she cracked me up when we were first talking about, hey, Hamilton came out on Disney Plus. And she's like, no. She goes, if you want to have the real experience of going to see this in the theater, she goes, go to the ATM, take out $400 and just throw that away. That's gone because that's your tickets. And, maybe your whatever. And she goes, and then you need to go order a very expensive dinner. And then you need to get yourself a bottle of wine, get a little small plastic cup and pour, about 3 fingers of wine in it.
Theater wine.
And get another $36 out. That's for that. And then she goes, now sit on your couch and whoever you're watching with, just sit really close to where some part of you is touching their body the whole time. And someone's in front of you and all that stuff. And make sure you have like a coat and maybe your purse kind of tucked in around your feet. And then watch it. And she was so right because look, if you've been to the theater, that is exactly the experience. You put out the money for the tickets. If you want to have any kind of, something to imbibe, it's ridiculously expensive. So it was really cool that they put Hamilton out that way. So it is cool that they're finding a way to put Mulan out.
Yeah. And, it's, there's politics behind this one. There's politics behind everything too, because of what the lead actress who plays Mulan said about the Chinese government and Xi Jinping. So there's definitely things like that to consider when it goes. But yeah, $30 is less than what we would have spent, and we would have seen it opening weekend in the theaters.
Yeah,
we would have seen it on a Saturday morning at Alamo, and it would have been $40 for tickets.
Now we may have been able to screen it.
But we're not going to assume that.
Now we're just going to pay for it and see it.
Hard to get screened for.
Yeah.
But and then we would have gotten some mimosas, and the kids would have got popcorn. It would have been $80. So this is much cheaper overall. But our next one will be a Mulan review.
That's right, and we'll have I think we'll have a couple other people in it too. So we'll be doing that, recording on September 4th. We may do it live. We'll see.
Yeah, we might have not a watch party, but we might watch it and say, "Hey, does anybody want to see this?" And then have an outdoor drive-in style.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, and it's getting to be September. So so if we'd love to hear too. I mean, how have you been trying to kind of do any like watch parties with people? Netflix watch party is great for Netflix stuff. It'd be kind of cool if Disney made something like that. I'm sure you'd have to pay a premium for it. But yeah, we actually have a projector and a screen, and we've put movies out here on our patio, and then we're able to social distance.
We're not charging
we don't
either,
do that.
So this is not copyright violations.
No, but yeah, and then we can social distance. People can come over, and when we can have fires, which we can't right now, because if you haven't noticed, Colorado is lit right now.
Not as bad as California, but it's pretty bad.
Not as bad as California, but yeah, so. And we've seen a lot of people do that where they try to incorporate some outdoor gatherings too that make it safe and stuff. So all that to say, stay safe. Let us know how you're handling this COVID summer. We're almost at the end of it. If you have kids that probably either back at school or starting in moments, want to hear how you're doing. And again, we've given you an idea of like all the things we've done, trying to keep ourselves entertained and sane through this COVID summer, the summer of COVID. But would love to hear what you're doing too. And like I said, maybe you give people ideas of how they can stay sane too.
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thank you for listening, watching, laughing, pointing fingers and laughing possibly. But we will be back with Unpause It. And don't forget to subscribe. Let me just pop this up there. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, on iTunes, on Spotify. Our daughter also, she wants us to give a shout out. What is your YouTube channel?
Furious_Jeb.
Can you say it a bit louder, please?
Furious_Jeb.
So Furious_Jeb is our daughter's YouTube channel.
JEB.
Yes. And she makes some, they're kind of cool little almost comics and stuff like that. You guys animate and stuff. So it's pretty cool. We are, of course, on Unpause It on YouTube as well, and also on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you like to listen to podcasts. But again, you can watch this whole thing if you're watching it right now and laugh at our family.
And it was put out there. And we may just live stream without audio. A risk game.
Yes. So our son
Yes.
wants I guess I think we're doing it. We have been playing Risk. Our son is really good at it. He's not allowed to go to Las Vegas ever.
I need to roll a 6. Boom, he rolls a 6. I'm like, sweet Lord.
It's a bit scary.
Yeah.
He's put several family members to shame.
It's not safe. It's not legal.
I mean, seriously, this kid, and it's not just rolling dice. Like, we'll play Trouble, which has a bubble. It's a dice in a bubble, and he will get sixes on it just by pushing the bubble.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
You got to
I
play
told
word
you it's
games
not
to
legal
beat
and
it.
it's not safe.
It's something. So I just need all y'all who want to like, ooh, you want to do the Rain Man thing and go to Las Vegas and like, no, you stay away from my son. So anyway, but he loves playing Risk. So we probably will do a Risk recording. And, if any of you are like, Risk, what's that?
Maybe more so when it's cold outside and things like that.
Yeah, we'll do that, which is coming. So be safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let us know what else you want us to cover, what you think about the podcast. Please review us wherever you can. And thank you for hanging out with us. And have a great rest of your August. See you next for the Mulan React.